napalm, son! Nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Welcome, and on the 2nd of January, I already bought my first watch of the year. No surprise it's a Seiko.
Do I still love it after 3 weeks? It's a Seiko, I know.
But I love them, don't I? And this one...
Get your watch out.
Well, on my wrist today, a watch I don't wear that often. The Casio DBC-611. The watch that looks like it would come straight out of Robocop's bottom if you twisted his nipple nuts. What a beautiful mathematical stunner. Okay, so in my 2021 State of the Collection show, at the end, I gave you my mid-term watch collecting goals. You know, watches that I would want to acquire come the end of the year or maybe on to the next year. This year, one of those watches I really wanted to get was the re-release of the 6105, the Willard. Yes, a watch extremely iconic and important to the Seiko brand. The 6105-8118, I think it is, came out in 1970 and had a great run for 7 years. It's an important diver for a number of reasons. One, it was the first diver Seiko ever made that was asymmetrical.
Bit like my face.
Big, chunky, cushion-style case with a crown at 4 o'clock with big shoulder crown guards to protect it. This is the rightful descendant of the Seiko Turtles we know of today, but also amongst watch collectors, this one is very special because it starred alongside Martin Sheen playing Captain Willard in the very big iconic movie Apocalypse Now. That film was centered around the Vietnam War, and the casting of that watch was very true because in the late 60s, early 70s, the watches that were supplied to the soldiers of the US Army tended to perish in the harsh jungle environments. So what a lot of the troops did is buy these Seiko 105s. They were highly reliable, waterproof, and could take an absolute beating. The troops then took them home at the end of the war and have a huge historical place in the US Army. Seiko have reimagined this 6105 in 3 different variations. You've got a lovely black original one with a stainless steel bracelet. You've got a gorgeous green drab dialed one with a silicone strap, and one Seiko calls the Willard, which has faux patina on it and a lovely textured dial. Well, if I show you a shot of my Seiko collection, here it is. Yeah, as you can see, beautiful, aren't they? But yeah, pretty much all black dials, aren't they? So I wanted to up my colour game in my Seiko collecting box. So it had to be that green one. I'd had experiences with their silicone straps before and I loved them. I wasn't massively impressed with the bracelet on the SPB153, so I thought,
Let's go green.
I actually bought this watch on the high street at H. Samuel's, and at the time they were doing 30% off on all of their watches. Well, they reeled me in, didn't they? And I bought it. So let me show you the unboxing, first impressions, and how I feel about the watch now. Are you Seiko ready? Let's go! Okay, so there's not a tremendous amount to see here in the unboxing. It's actually the same packaging that I got with my SNK 809, a watch that barely comes to £100. You get the same sort of box for a watch that's £1,000. But I'm not here for the box, am I? But let's have a look at this puppy. Ooh! And in my opinion, I think this is the best looking green watch out on the market for under £1,000.
Bar none.
Maybe it's me and my tastes. I'm a military field type watch guy. I love military watches. This just oozes a tactical soldier-like vibe, you know? Look at that dial. Look at those big markers. Look at that lollipop red. Nice big coin edge bezel. The case, the crown and the case back is stainless steel. The stainless steel is treated to something Seiko called DioShield, which is a coating they put on it to make it extra tough. We got a lovely brushing on the front of the watch, polishing on the sides and underneath. The transition between brushing and polishing is beautiful. Look how tucked away that crown is at the 4 o'clock. Seiko call this shoulders protecting the crown. I think they're right. I mean, it's not crown guards protecting the crown, is it? It's a whole platoon. First impressions?
Smashing.
Quick spec check. Okay, so the case is 42.8 millimeters in diameter, which is a little bit big for me, but I know how Seiko's magic works. They're gonna make this watch fit on my tiny wrist. I know it. In actual fact, this reissue or reimagined 6105 is a couple of millimeters smaller than the original. It's 13.2 millimeters thick, 46.6 millimeters lug to lug, which is the big measurement for me.
Yes.
And we've got a strapaholic lug width of 20 millimeters. So yeah, as I said, big in diameter, small lug to lug. I think it's still gonna look good. So the original 6105 had a flat Hardlex crystal protecting the dial. This one is sapphire and it is slightly domed. There is anti-reflective coating on the inside, which you can just about see, but I do love the distortion that dome gives you. So screw down crown at 4 o'clock. It is unsigned. The original had a cool little lock arrow on it, which I think was cool. I think they should have kept it, but okay. It's a screw down crown and a screw down case back, which gives us 200 meters of water resistance. Oh, for Brutus! Get down, you naughty boy! Darling, he's humping my leg again. And welcome to another episode of the Design House, where we take a look at a watch's case back, and today it's a very nice Seiko. Wow, well, there is no display case back. It's a shame. It's a shame, isn't it? Obviously not a Seiko 5. We have the extremely famous and iconic Karagawa wave in the middle. Beautiful polishing, lovely stainless steel around the outside, saying the movement. This is saying it's an actual diver's watch. That's nice. They've obviously had the money to pay for an ISO certification. Who needs one of them? But it looks extremely exquisite, as you would expect for a rather pricey Seiko. So there you go, a very nice Seiko. I'll see you next time for another episode of the Design House. Cut. Darling, get the vets on the phone. Brutus's balls are coming off! Let me stop you for a minute and talk to you about Watch Crunch. This is a new online platform made by watch nerds, designed for watch nerds. Just think of this like Facebook, but without the pictures of your kids and posts about a zoo you might have gone to last week. All things watches are welcome on Watch Crunch. 7 years ago, when I started my watch journey, I would have given anything for a platform like this to talk to like-minded watch nuts without the watch snobbery. It's so easy to use as well. All you got to do is make a profile and then start posting away. Why not come follow me? The site is so easy to use. You can post opinions or post photos of your watches and follow other like-minded watch maniacs. I was honestly that impressed with Watch Crunch. They have become the official sponsor of the Mad Watch Collector channel. Check out the link in the description below where you'll be able to get started on Watch Crunch and join the discussions. Come and join the fun debate and see what the fuss is about. No watch snobbery allowed. Okay, so it's on to the strap, and I've got quite a few Seikos with these silicone straps with them. I've never had one with quite so much detail on it. A lot of textures on it, with a tire tread on the front. Nice brushed sign keeper as well as a brushed tang buckle. Yes, I think this is going to feel really good on the wrist. Okay, on to the bezel. It's 120 clicks, unidirectional. We've got a beautiful green aluminium insert with a Lume pip at 12 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing what Kurt thinks of this one. Welcome to the World Bezeling Federation, dedicated to find the best bezel on a watch. 3 rounds, the look, the grip, and the fidgetability. Super! Let's get a bezeling! Ho ho, and look at this vintage beauty. Reminds me of the old days when I was young and free and I met a beautiful girl at the Taco Bell. Tacos. With a beautiful green grass inspired aluminum insert. Referee scores the look. And onto the grip. How much do I have to twist the bezel before the first ratchet? Is it stiff? Is it too soft? Our referee scores? Nice. And onto the fidgetability. How much do I want to twist this bezel even if I don't have hands? Referee scores? Whoa, and puts the SPB153 on the leaderboard for 2022. Bye-bye, bezel lovers. Yes, so pretty decent. It's like your refined SKX feeling. Spongy, you know, it's quite spongy. It's got its feel of its own. Nice and satisfying. Fidgetability, pretty good.
Sorry to bother you. Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the face.
Dial time.
And the green sunburst on this dial is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, it's the best green I've seen on a watch. The way it plays in the light is fantastic. Along the outside of the dial, we have a printed minute track, and then those beautiful, huge silver framed trapezoids with a double one at 12 o'clock for great orientation. How cool would that date wheel look if it matched the colour of the dial? That would look special with white numerals. I'm not a huge fan of a date complication, as you full well know now, you guys, but because the markers are as big and chunky as that date window, it actually looks pretty good. Below that ginormous 12 marker, we have printed Seiko. Below the handset, we have that Prospex logo, meaning this is a professional diver's watch,
Which should be taken very seriously.
as it has gone through rigorous tests to not let you down in the ocean.
Or at a desk where you might spill your tea on it.
Then the word automatic and divers 200 meters. The actual original 6105 was 150 meters water resistance.
So we've upped our game by 50 meters.
Onto the handset, and these are awesome. The hour and minute hands are brushed on one side, polished on the other, with a great helping of Lume bright inside them. And look at that show-stopping seconds hand. That lollipop Lume, as well as that little dash of red, just absolutely sets off this watch. It's definitely one of my favourite handsets I've ever reviewed on a Seiko. And partnered up with this dial, well, it's just... So we've got Lume on the handset, Lume on the hour markers, Lume on the pip on the bezel insert. Just how bright is this baby gonna glow? Well, there was no doubt that this thing was going to glow beautifully. The Seiko proprietary Lume Bright technology in those big, chunky markers and handset. That's how a diver should glow.
Bravo, Seiko.
Powering this willardy beauty is a Seiko in-house 6R35 movement. 24 joules with a whopping 70 hours of power reserve and ticks away at 21,600 beats per hour. But how do one of these engines tick straight out of the box?
Let's take a look at this 6R35 movement. Haha. So this 6R35 has tolerances between -15 and +25 seconds a day. And as you can see, we are cruising along quite nicely. So there you go. A lovely reliable engine in this beautiful Seiko machine. That's it from me. And remember, if something can't be timed,
Spoon it.
bye!
To operate this SPB153 is rather nice. Unscrew that giant crown and you get a lovely pop. The winding isn't hugely satisfying, you know. I don't feel like I'm winding something up, just feel like I'm grinding something. It's a tasteful grind, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like I'm putting the energy in as I would do a Sellita SW200, for example. Pull out the crown to the first position and we can change the date, pull it all out, and as you can see, we have hacking and we can set the time.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist and come to papa. Oh man, this looks so good. I just can't stop staring at that blooming dial. The case just being over 13mm thick doesn't look tall by any means. I'm a little bit surprised of how uncomfortable the silicone strap was, bearing in mind that I've had a lot in the past. I don't know whether it's to do with the positioning of the holes on the strap or the size of the case. nice, but I just wasn't able to get that perfect fit in between tight and loose. I wanted that nice, comfortable in between. But you know what? I wasn't gonna keep it on this silicone strap anyway, because I got in touch with the best aftermarket Seiko strap and bracelet maker out there in the world, Uncle Seiko. Good old Uncle Seiko sent me a beautiful 3-link bracelet, milled clasp with 4 micro adjusts, solid end links. It is push pins. I have never had loose links from push pins. I have with screw pins. Anyway, look at this bracelet. I don't think I'm going to take it off this thing. No doubt I'll be treating this SPB153 with a lovely black waffle strap, you know, to make me feel like Captain Willard, you know. But even though the dial and the bezel insert is green, I still think this watch is
Strapaholic.
I think it's going to go with a lot of different coloured straps out there, and I can't wait to properly dress this bad boy up. So, there you go. The SPB153 Willard reissue from Seiko. Give us the positives. It's just such a wearable watch. When I open the watch box, it's just there looking at me saying, "Wear me, wear me." It's such a sporty looking watch. I feel like I can take it anywhere and do anything with it. With that dial colour and the handset, I think it's the best Seiko I've ever owned. But it's got everything I want in a Seiko watch. Heritage, robustness, high water resistance, and a screw down crown.
Are you listening, 5KX?
Give us the negatives. I know I keep going on about it, but when you pay £1,000, which is what this costs retail, you don't really want to see an engine ticking away at 21,600 beats per hour. That's the same tick as the SNK 809 I reviewed a couple of weeks ago.
Your entry-level Seikos?
Yes, the power reserve has been massively improved, but I'm really not bothered about power reserve. £1,000 for this watch I think is too expensive. £600 to £700, I think that's more reasonable, don't you? And that's what I paid for it. Here it is, my wife's first impressions of the SPB153. Here we go. Yeah, I like it. I like the colour. It is a bit big though, isn't it? I'm not too fond of that strap, but you can change them out, can't you? If you've lasted this long on the show, why not become an MWC certified member? In the top corner of your screen, right next to the subscribed, you'll see a join tab. Joining that will give you these benefits. You'll get a unique badge for any time you comment on one of the shows, making you look special. You'll get access to members only community posts, exclusive updates to future episodes, exclusive giveaways, and get to see the weekly shows before anyone else. But I promise to make it worthwhile to you guys. And today's shot comes from London Dot Timepieces. Look out, it's a monster! A Seiko Prospex SRP G57 to be exact. It's the special Save the Ocean Antarctica edition. You know, the one with the lovely little penguin feet going along the dial. I absolutely love the look of this watch, and thank you so much for tagging me in. If you'd like to be on the next Seiko showcase, all you gotta do, find me on Instagram here and tag me in on one of your Seiko posts. Cause who knows? Next time, the star of the show could be you. I'd love to know in the comments below what you think of this SPB153. Are you thinking of buying one? Do you have one? Do you love it? This watch is staying in my collection and I don't see it going anywhere, honest. From me, the Mad Watch Collector, I'll see you in a tick, 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 a tick!
Second, every hour, every minute.